माय मदर एट 66 बाय कमला दास 12th क्लास जो पोएम टाइम फर्स्ट पोएम देखा जाऊे यार किसी MCQ आम देखा MCQs on my mother at 66 by Kamala Das. Where was the poet driving to? Chennai, Cochin, Delhi, Mumbai. Poet कोठी की ड्राइव करके जाउथिले कोचिन जाउथिले. Who was sitting beside the poet in the car? कार पाखरे तांका पाखरे कार रे किए बसथिले? Her father, her sister, her mother, her grandmother. आंसर होची her mother तांको माँ बसीथिले. How does the poet describe her mother's face? पोएट तांका मदर फेस को केमिति डिस्क्राइब करछन्ती. Fresh and bright, dark and wrinkled, ashen and pale like a corpse, radiant and glowing. आंसर है ashen and pale like a corpse अर्थात गोटे मृत शरीर मुह जमी देखा जाए लाइफलेस से भली देखा एकदम डल देखा जाउछि. What realization does the poet have while looking at her mother? निज मदर को जेतबेले से चाहिछन्ती सेतबेले पोएट को मन रे कोन रियलाइजेशन आछि? Her mother is happy and healthy. Her mother is growing old and weak. Her mother wants to travel. Her mother is angry with her. आंसर है her mother is growing old and weak. ये तांका मदर बहुत वीक हो गलेनी बहुत ओल्ड हो गलेनी. What does the poet do to distract herself from painful thoughts? तेणु ये दुख पेनफुल थॉट रु चिंतारू तांको कौन डिस्ट्राक्ट करने से चिंता कले कौन तांको डिस्ट्राक्ट कला कौन तांको से भावना रू हटई देला अन्य आड़े नजर बा निजर चिंता को से लगेले. She listens to music. She looks outside at young trees and children. She talks to her mother. She closes her eyes and sleeps. आंसर है she looks outside at young trees and children. जैसे बाहर को डिस्ट्राक्ट करने निज मन को से कड़े अनेले यंग ट्रीज और चिल्ड्रेन को देखिले कार बाहर. What do young trees sprinting symbolize? Young trees sprinting एटा लिखिबार अर्थ कौन एटा कौन symbolize करुछि? The poet's excitement, the speed of the car, the contrast between youth and old age, the poet's fear of losing her mother. The answer is the contrast between youth and old age. निज यूथ आउ ओल्ड एज रो भितर थिबा डिफरेंस कोठी जना पड़छ. Why does the poet mention merry children spilling out of their homes? Merry children spilling out of their homes रो अर्थ एटारे कोन? To show the joy and energy of childhood, to symbolize the loneliness of old age, to describe a playground, both A and B. तामाने उभय A और B. A B रे कौन रही? To show the joy and energy of childhood. तामाने पिला दिनर जॉय और एनर्जी को शो करुछि एवं बुढ़ा समय रो ओल्ड एज रो लोनलीनेस को मध्य एठी देखा जाउछि. Number 8. What is the significance of the phrase late winter's moon? Late winter's moon रो अर्थ एठारे कौन? It symbolizes the dim and faded look of her mother. It represents the bright future. It describes a new beginning. It shows the poet's happiness. Answer है it symbolizes the dim and faded look of her mother. आणि जो माँ करो जो dim और faded look को एठारे symbolize कराई. What was the poet's childhood fear? हाँ पिला दिन डर कौन थिला? Fear of traveling alone, fear of her mother's death or separation from her, fear of losing her away, fear of exams. And fear of her mother's death or separation from her. ତ ନିଜ ବାପାଙ୍କର ସରି ନିଜ ମଦରଙ୍କର ଡେଥ୍ ବା ସେପାରେସନ୍ ତାଙ୍କଠାରୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଅଲଗା କରିଦେବାର ଭୟ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଥିଲା। ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ଆର୍ ଦ ପୋଏଟ୍ସ ପାର୍ଟିଂ ୱାର୍ଡ଼ସ୍? ଅଲଗା ହେବା ସମୟରେ ବିଦାୟ ଜଣାଇବା ସମୟରେ ସେ ତାଙ୍କୁ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ କହିଥିଲେ? ପୋଏଟ୍ କ'ଣ କହିଥିଲେ? ଟେକ୍ କେୟାର ଅମ୍ମା, ସି ୟୁ ସୁନ୍ ଅମ୍ମା, ଗୁଡ଼୍ ବାଇ ଅମ୍ମା, ଆଇ ୱିଲ୍ ମିସ୍ ୟୁ ଅମ୍ମା। ସି ୟୁ ସୁନ୍ ଅମ୍ମା ମାନେ ଖୁବ୍ ଶୀଘ୍ର ଦେଖା ହେବା ଅମ୍ମା। Why does the poet smile at the end? To reassure her mother and hide her own pain, because he is happy to live, because he is excited for her journey, because her mother tells her a joke. Answer is to reassure her mother and hide her own pain. What is the theme of the poem? The importance of education, the mother-daughter bond and fear of separation, the beauty of nature, the struggles of traveling. The answer is the mother-daughter bond and fear of separation. What poetic device is used in young trees sprinting? Simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration. The answer is personification. What is the poetic device in her face ashen like that of a corpse? Simile, metaphor, alliteration, hyperbole. Simile. How does the poet feel at the airport? Excited, nervous, sad and emotional, angry. Sad and emotional. Why is the poem written in a single sentence? To show the poet's continuous thoughts and emotions, to confuse the reader, to make the poem difficult, to show the poet's frustration. The answer is to show the poet's continuous thoughts and emotions. What does corpse symbolize in the poem? Beauty, death and decay, strength, happiness. Answer is death and decay. What is the central emotion in the poem? Joy, anger, love mixed with sadness, hatred. The answer is love mixed with sadness. What does the poet do to suppress her emotions? She starts reading, she sings a song, she forces herself to smile, she ignores her mother. The answer is she forces herself to smile. Number 20. What contrast does the poet show in the poem? Between rich and poor, between happiness and sorrow, between youth and old age, between mother and daughter, between youth and old age. But is the poet, who is the poet of My Mother at 66? Sarojini Naidu, Kamala Das, Maya Angelou, R.K. Narayan. The answer is Kamala Das. What language did Kamala Das also write in? Tamil, Hindi, Malayalam, Telugu. The answer is Malayalam. Number 23. What does spilling out suggest in merry children spilling out of their homes? Movement and energy, disorder and mess, fear and hesitation, loneliness. The answer is movement and energy. What is the tone of the poem? Joyful, nostalgic and sad, humorous, indifferent. The answer is nostalgic and sad. Number 25. What does the poet try to hide from her mother? Her excitement, her sadness and fear of separation, her anger, her disappointment. The answer is her sadness and fear of separation. Number 26. Why does the poet look out of the window? To enjoy the scenery, to distract herself from sad thoughts, to find a friend, to check the traffic. Answer is to distract herself from sad thoughts. Number 27. What kind of imagery is used in the poem? Visual, auditory, tactile, olfactory. The answer is visual. What is the meaning of one? Bright and shining, pale and weak, energetic, angry. The answer is pale and weak. Number 29. What does the poet want to convey through the poem? The importance of family, the pain of growing old and fear of losing a loved one, the beauty of nature, the joy of traveling. The answer is the pain of growing old and the fear of losing a loved one. Number 30. What is the last word of the poem? Amma, see, smile, soon. The answer is smile. Number 31. What does the poet notice about her mother while traveling? Her mother looks happy. Her mother looks old and weak. Her mother is sleeping peacefully. Her mother is angry. The answer is her mother looks old and weak. Number 32. Why does the poet describe her mother as dozing, open-mouthed? To show her mother's tiredness and old age, to indicate that she is snoring, to show her mother's deep sleep, to suggest that she is sick. The answer is to show her mother's tiredness and old age. What contrast does the poet draw in the poem? In the question number 33, what contrast does the poet draw in the poem? Between her mother's aging and the youthful world outside, between rich and poor people, between city life and village life, between happiness and sadness. The answer is between her mother's aging and the youthful world outside. Number 34. What feeling does the poet experience when she sees her mother's face? Joy, relief, pain and fear, excitement. The answer is pain and fear. Number 35. What does the poet compare her mother's face to? A bright summer sun, a withered leaf, a late winter's moon, a blooming flower. The answer is a late winter's moon. Number 36. Why does the poet use the phrase as old as she looked? To emphasize her mother's true age, to highlight her mother's wisdom, to show her mother's happiness, to describe her mother's beauty. The answer is to emphasize her mother's true age. Number 37. What emotion does the poet's familiar ache symbolize? Her childhood fear of separation, her excitement for the journey, her mother's happiness, her love for nature. The answer is her childhood fear of separation. Number 38. What is the rhyme scheme of the poem? A B B, A B A B. Free verse means no rhyme scheme. A B C D. The answer is free verse means no rhyme scheme. Number 39. How does the poet try to comfort herself? By thinking about happy memories, by looking at young trees and children outside, by talking to her mother, by sleeping during the journey. The answer is by looking at young trees and children outside. Number 40. What literary device is used in her face as in like that of a corpse? Metaphor, simile, personification, alliteration. Simile is the right answer. Number 41. What does the word one mean in the poem? Pale and weak, strong and healthy, cheerful and bright, shy and hesitant. The answer is pale and weak. Number 42. What is the poet's main concern in the poem? Her mother's safety during the journey, her mother's increasing age and possible death, the speed of the car, her own excitement for the trip. The answer is her mother's increasing age and possible death. Number 43. What is the setting of the poem? Inside the poet's home, at a railway station, inside a moving car, and later at the airport, in a park. The answer is inside a moving car and later at the airport. Question number 44. What does security check symbolize in the poem? The formalities of airport travel, the emotional separation between the poet and her mother, the strictness of security officers, the mother's protection. The answer is the emotional separation between the poet and her mother. Question number 45. How does the poet try to hide her emotions? By waving at her mother, by smiling continuously, by turning away, by writing in her diary. The answer is by smiling continuously. Question number 46. What makes the poet feel the old familiar ache? Seeing her mother looking pale and weak, remembering a childhood accident, watching children playing, thinking about her mother. Answer is seeing her mother looking pale and weak. Question number 47. How does the poet use nature in the poem? To show her happiness, to create a contrast between youth and old age, to describe a beautiful scenery, to criticize pollution. The answer is to create a contrast between youth and old age. Question number 48. How does the poet's mother react at the time of parting? She cries loudly, she waves happily. Her reaction is not described in the poem. She scolds the poet. The answer is her reaction is not described in the poem. Question number 49. What does the poet's final smile convey? Hope and reassurance, excitement for the journey, anger towards her mother, confusion about her emotions. And the right answer is hope and reassurance. Question number 50, and the last question. What is the message of the poem? Life is full of happiness. Separation from loved ones is inevitable. Nature is beautiful. Traveling is enjoyable. And the answer is separation from loved ones is inevitable. Please like the video if it is quite helpful to you and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.